Welcome to my channel CAD Tutorials. Today let us discuss how to create this drawing in AutoCAD by a step-by-step method. So without any further ado, let's get started. So as usual, before getting into the drawing, let's try to check out if all the possible dimensions are there in the reference drawing in order to create the drawing in AutoCAD. So just have a check. So first, from here to here the dimension is given, from circle to two circles, and from here to here the dimension is given, from here to the center is given, from here to these two circles is given, and from here to this profile radius 15, for the center of this radius 15 is given, and the length from here to here is given, and from this center line dimension of 22 is given to these circles, and from there to here it's 80, and this is diameter, and this radius is given, and this radius 60 is given, 64, 100, this is 85. So all the possible dimensions are there in the reference drawing. So let's get started. So first I'll try to create a circle, this circle of radius 50 or diameter 100. So first I'll try to create a circle of dia 100, and so then I'll try to create a center line from here to here and here to here, and let's try to lengthen these lines by giving lengthen DE delta to a distance of 20 on all the sides. So that's my center actually. So let's not change the solid lines to center lines right now. And now let's try to offset this line to a distance of 100 in order to get this center line, or yeah, offset to 100. And similarly, let's try to offset the same line to a distance of 108 on this side and 170 here. Offset to 100 from here to here, and try to offset the same center line to a distance of 51 in order to get this center. Offset to 51 from here to here, and let's try to stretch this line in order to get the intersection point of these two circuits. So go for S, enter, select the one end part of the circle where you wanted to stretch, say enter, click and move away from the vertical line in order to get the intersection point. So now let's try to create this circle. This circle is given as radius 22 into 4, that means 1, 2, 3 and 4. So let's try to create this radius 22, and the smaller radius or the diameter is given as diameter 19. So first let's try to create a circle of radius 22, and let's try to stretch this line away from this, and let's try to create another circle of dia 19. So now we have got the required profile. So similarly, let's try to offset the same line to a distance of 124 in order to get this intersection point for creating these two circles. Offset to 124 from here to here, and try to stretch this line. Here there are two ways that you can create these two circles. Either you can create new circles, or you can copy the same circle and move to a distance of 124. This is one way. And another way that you can copy these two, go for a copy, enter from the intersection point of these two lines, you can go on paste on the intersection point of these two lines. So there are different ways that you can create these circles if you have the same diameter or same radius. And similarly, let's try to create these circles now. So I'll try to extend these lines, or I'll try to stretch this line away from this line. And in order to get this intersection point of a line, in order to create these two circles, so let's try to offset this line to a distance of 22. Say offset 22. So in order to keep my drawing clean and neat, I'll try to break this down and have a smaller center line in order to create these circles. So similarly, I'll just copy out, say CO, enter, and from here I'll just come and paste over here. Now I'll just stretch these two lines and try to copy the same circles from this center to the intersection point of those two lines. So now I got all the circles which is required. So let's try to construct the inner profile now. So that means we have already created this 100. Now let's try to create this center line of radius 60. Say circle, from the center of the circle, say radius 60. Now in order to get rid of the confusion, you can change this line to the center line. So go to others, load, and go to the center, say OK. Now you can, as the center lines are very small, so let's try to select this, go to Control 1 and give some pi value. Now you got the center of those circles. Now let's try to create the outermost circle that is of radius 64. So let's come to the center, say radius 64, and let's try to change this to solid line. Now let's try to create these angles. So from this horizontal line, the angle is given as 45. So let's try to take the same line, so rotate it from the intersection point of those two lines, the midpoint. So we are trying to rotate it to anti-clockwise direction. So the value in AutoCAD to rotate it to anti-clockwise direction is the positive value, that is 45. Sorry, I'll just try to copy this, rotate from the intersection point, say copy, and say 45. So similarly, you can do other lines, or you can even mirror, go for a mirror command, select that line, and from this is the mirror line that you wanted to mirror. Click this horizontal line, start point and the end point, and say no. So now let's try to create this dia 14 of 8 quantity. So let's go for a circle. From the intersection point of this center line and this line, from the intersection point, say dia 14. Let's try to change this to bilayer. Similarly, you can array, or you can go to every circle or every intersection point in order to create this circle. Say click and enter, click and enter, click and enter. So similarly for all those circles, or you can go for array command, that if you wanted to create all circles at a time. And now let's try to change these lines to center lines. So now let's try to create this radius 13 of 8. So either you can offset this is dia 14. So this is radius 26. So 26 minus 14, even that you can do, or directly you can go from the intersection point and say radius 13. Similarly, you can copy from the center of this and you can paste it on all the center point of the previous circle which is drawn. Now let's try to trim out in order to get our profile. So everything is done. Now let's try to create this tangent lines and the profile inside. And let's finally give this radius. So let's go for a line command, L enter, and say tangent, TAN, from this circle to tangent of this circle. And similarly go for line command, say tangent, from this line to tangent of this circle. Similarly go for line command, say tangent of this circle to tangent of this circle. So when you check it out, there is some difference shown that, say, I have given only 100 radius, sorry, distance 100 from here to this circle. But here, actually by mistake, I have given a value of 100. So in order to make my drawing clear, so I need not erase everything and recreate everything. So let's go for a stretch command, and I wanted to stretch these two lines, these lines to a distance of 70. So if you select those two lines perfectly, I can go and stretch to 70. Now if I check it out from this point to this point, I got exact dimension of 170. So now let's try to create this tangent line. Say tangent to the tangent of this circle. Similarly, let's go for line command to the tangent of this circle to the tangent of that circle. Now let's try to give a line command. Tangent to the tangent of that circle. Fine. Now let's try to create this radius 85 and radius 40 fillet. Either you can give fillet radius 85 from here to here and fillet radius 40 from here to here. Now let's try to create this profile. So from here I'll try to offset to a distance of 100. The center line I'll try to offset and create a horizontal line, and even this will be the center line for this profile. So I'll try to rotate this from the intersection point of these lines. Now we wanted to rotate it to 15 degree because the angle is given as with the horizontal, the angle parallel to this four lines is given as 15. So let's try to rotate. We are rotating it to clockwise direction, so the value will be negative. So minus 15. So I'll try to stretch this out. Now let's try to make this as a solid line for a while, and let's try to offset. Because the inner radius is given as 15, let's try to offset 15 either sides. So offset to 15 and 15, and from this line, from here, from where the 100 point ends, there you should have a perpendicular line to this line which I have rotated to 15 degree. So let's try to create a line, say perpendicular. I wanted a perpendicular line to this line. So enter. Just move this line to the intersection point of this and try to offset this line to a distance of 40. And now the distance of 40, that means we have got two intersection points in order to create this radius 15 arc. So go for it, Command C, from this intersection point say radius 15. Similarly, from this intersection point say radius 15. I'll try to remove the extra elements. Let's try to lengthen these center lines and break down on this side. Let's try to give the center line properties to these circles, to these lines. And now we'll try to offset to a distance of 6, because from here the offset is given as 6. So let's try to offset to a distance of 6 on all the sides. Done. So finally we have completed the drawing. So in order to make our drawing perfectly look good, I'll try to keep my center lines all. I'll try to move the same line, circle, in order to remove these extra lines. And I'll try to extend these lines. So let's try to give the dimensions. Before that, let's give the thickness to this drawing and change the color to yellow. And change the line weight to 0.3. So let's give the line weight and say display weight and try to match property all the drawing solid lines. Done. So now let's try to give the dimensions and check it out if we have done the drawing to the perfection. So linear from here to the center of this line, it's 100. Let's try to increase the symbols and text. Say 3. Text, let it be 4. And the primary units, let the precision be 0. Set current, close. Okay. Now from here to the center of this, we have got 170. From here to this center, we have got 51. And from here to the center, we have got 124. From here to here, we have got 100. From here to here, the dimension is 22. And from here to here, the dimension is 80. So let's try to give the align dimension. From here to here, the dimension is 40. and from here to here the dimension is 6. Let's try to give the angle. From here to here it is 15, and from here to here it is 45. And let's try to give the radius dimensions now. This is radius 85. This is radius 64. This is radius 60. This is radius 13. This is radius 22. This is radius 40. This is radius 15. This is dia. So let's give the dia dimension. This is dia 19. This is dia 14. And this is dia 100. Hope we have given all the dimensions. So let's try to check the precision of the drawings to some 3 decimals. Say set current. So you can check the drawing that everything is to the perfection of 2-3 decimals. So we have done with the drawing. If anyone has got doubt, you can mail me at cadman16414@gmail.com, or you can comment me on my video. Thank you.